Equestrias Mirage Dream Warriors by myself. Chapter 7. Dream of Perfection. We all have dreams. The dream of perfection for what? A world where all we could ever want is achieved. Those words that Luna had given them briefing echoed through Flutters' mind as he felt the realm of dreams take her over. At first, it felt like her mind was in an eternal freefall, much like she did when she fell from the clouds. But then her mind felt calm and light. Slowly but surely, she began to look around her as her eyes opened up to the world around her. Turning her head to look at her companion, she made her way to Lyra.
Lyra, are you okay? Are you awake?
The mint-green unicorn took a few moments to get to her hooves, shaking the sleep and tiredness from her. Yeah, I'm up. Trixie should have warned us what happens when we enter the dream world. Where are we?
I don't know. It looks like the mansion where Carolot is, but I can't see it,
Flutters said. Maybe it's a different mountain? I mean, how many could there be? Sweet Celestia, what happened to Carolot? Lyra exclaimed, looking up to see.
What do you mean? What? Oh, my,
exclaimed Flutters as he followed Lyra's stare to the city that looked like Carolot, but yet was not. Though the structure and shapes remained the same, the buildings and interior were changed. Gone were the marble stone towers and majestic spires of old, now were replaced by metal and steel. From a distance, it seemed that the city had been replaced by the bright sheen of Manhattan. As Lyra looked at the massive city before her, her golden eyes caught something else. Hey, what's this? Carefully, Flutters went next to the light blue tower and read the plaque on the side.
Weather Control Spire?
She asked herself this. A computer readout immediately began to read cloudy. With a mighty shake, the tower came to life. With a squeak, the buried Pegasus backed up and watched to gnaw as the tower began to produce a few clouds that would cover the Carolot sky.
Oh my, I know what this is.
What? Lyra asked, watching as the strange tower began to produce a cloudy day.
Twilight told me that some of the ideas to help Pegasus are making weather. She was going to make towers that could collect water from the rain and make clouds.
Flutters said, looking at the clouds, to back at the sea. But wouldn't that take away jobs? Lyra asked, concerned.
Not necessarily.
A spirit Trixie asked, looking at the device. Ah! How did you?
As long as Trixie is connected to the Dreamer, she is able to communicate with all of you for a short while. It isn't a permanent way to help, and it is limited to how long Trixie can talk. But she can still communicate with you. Still, as Trixie said, what Sparkle is constructing is sound. This will save on tornado days, and will make it so that weather factories will only have to work a little bit. At the same time, ponies who normally do a job that makes weather can help with the towers, and weather teams keep it in check. Twilight has made the weather independent. Interesting.
But there would still be problems. This would never work, Lyra said, looking at the tower in disbelief.
That's why this isn't a dream,
Flutters said with awe.
Twilight threw this away because she couldn't see it working, but here it is. In here, she found a way to make it work.
Taking a few more minutes to admire the giant tower before her, Lyra turned around to look at the capital city. Come on, if Twilight's mind is anywhere, it's probably in the city. Hesitantly, the yellow Pegasus nodded and followed her unicorn companion into the city. Once they entered, the changes to the capital became more evident. The capital city was a strange mix of mechanical and crystal. As the sunlight raced into the city proper, it replaced all its natural parts with robotic parts. All around the two mares, they could see the improved lives of ponies. Earth ponies using magical lifts to reach the top floor. Ponies with cyborg legs, food dispensers, and more were all at their hooves. As they continued their journey to the heart of the city, there was another change Lyra began to notice.
Lyra, look at all this,
Flutters said. Yeah, it's like Twilight turned this place into a techno-magic wonderland, Lyra said with a happy chuckle.
No, look closer,
Flutters said, pointing to a pair of creatures walking by.
See the changeling, the pony, the griffin?
Yeah, and Lyra switched her head to see other creatures walking with each other and talking to ponies. Some were equine, like elk and deer, but others not so, like minotaurs or griffins. My Celestia! I've never seen something like this before. Most of these guys are normally hated enemies, and they're friends! I know, Fluttershy, and one day I want to change that. I think if I work hard enough, I can help a lot of creatures band together. It might not be world peace, but I can make so that there are less cultures fighting each other. Did I just predict the finale? Because it feels like I predicted the finale. Twilight's voice echoed in Fluttershy's head. Yellow Pegasus then caught sight of the large shop.
Oh my goodness, Lyra, look at this!
Fluttershy says he ran to the shop and smiled.
Fluttershy Animal Shelter, Candlelight Prince? I have a prince? That means...
You're not the only one who's doing big business. Look. Lyra said, her eyes wide with shock as he looked at the large dress before her. Fabulous Boutique Industries. Rarity Bell, proprietor. And is that a party shop? Indeed it was. From across the boutique was a large pink store that read, Pinky and Cheese's Party Palace, for all your party needs. Did I predict the finale? Feels like I predicted the finale. Looking over her shoulder, Lyra was able to catch sight of the newspaper. Look at this. Rainbow Dash announces Wonderbolt Charity Champion. Rainbow Dash, now in her 4th year as Wonderbolt Captain, announced a World Tour event for charity. Sponsoring the event is Apple Family Inc. Guess the answer is what Applejack and Rainbow Dash are doing, Lyra said plainly, as if she could catch word of where Twilight was via word of mouth. A tearful chuckle came from Fluttershy as she put away the paper.
Of course. This is Twilight's dream. In a perfect world, she would want all of us to be happy and have everything we wanted.
Look! Fluttershy quietly sighed, pointing to a collection of tiny screens that began to appear around the square. After a few moments of music play, underneath a purple starburst that flashed on the screen, the image stated out of a balcony on the castle. Stepping out for the entryway out of the balcony, accompanied by a stallion and a small filly, was a purple alicorn. Twilight!
My dearest subjects, I thank you for your continued support and love throughout the past few years. I hope to continue to earn your support, respect, and friendship that you've given me.
A small blush came to the young princess as she smiled.
Today, I have a special announcement. The royal family is about to get bigger. My daughter's going to be a big sister soon.
At the mention of another child coming, Lyra looked closely at the small Pegasus filly with a blue mane and purple streak running down the middle of it. That kid is her daughter? Can you believe that, Fluttershy? For a moment, all Lyra could hear was the small murmurings of the crowd. Fluttershy? Fluttershy? Exclaimed the green unicorn as she switched her head back and forth. After a few moments of running to the crowded square, Lyra found herself alone and without her friend. This is not good, Trixie. I just lost Fluttershy.
How can you lose her?
Trixie Simmons exclaimed.
Look, Trixie is right now helping scout some of the others the best she can. Just think, where would a mayor like Fluttershy go?
Probably the place with the most animals. Lyra muttered under her breath, looking down on the ground in thought. After thinking for a moment, her eyes shot up. I got it! I think I knew where she'd flare off to! Lifting her head back up, she turned her head to look down the street and ran off. As she ran down the street to her destination, she began to hear a conversation between two young mares. I'm so glad Twilight was able to cut some strings and let us have a child together. This caused Lyra to stop, a memory running through her mind.
It's okay, Lyra. Look at a sperm donor. It's not like adopting is the only way.
No, I'm fine. I mean, sure, there might be problems.
Bon Bon.
Lyra whispered to herself before shaking the memory away and getting back onto the path to the animal shelter. However, she stopped her run when she looked at its large cherry tree and caught sight of a butter yellow Pegasus. A smile coming to her lips, she tried to where Fluttershy lay on the ground. Come on, Fluttershy. Let's get to the castle and get Twilight out of here. Fluttershy looked at the little squirrel on her hose and said calmly,
I'm not going.
At this, Lyra's yellow eyes opened wide in shock. What?
I said, I'm not going!
Fluttershy said just a bit louder.
I can't do it. I can't go there and take her away from all this. I can't take her away from someplace that fills the world with so much joy. Away from her daughter.
But none of this is real, countered Lyra.
I know that,
Fluttershy said with a sniffle.
But to her, all of it is. Here she has everything she could want. Everything she has ever dreamt of is possible. All of her dreams are real. Most importantly, she's happy. We're all happy and safe. We made it so we don't have to risk our lives as often. Made it so we all lived our dreams and have what we wanted.
But now, tears begin to flow from her eyes, trailing down her cheeks.
And you expect me to ruin all that for her? To take away everything that made her happy?
Lyra's eyes narrowed as she stared at Fluttershy. I know it's hard to ask, and I understand why. I would give anything to live in a world from this, where ponies still think you're nuts for believing in impossible things, where Bonbon can get everything she wants, and we can all be happy together. I'd give anything for that right now. But the Green Mare stopped for a moment, holding back her own tears. But I think Twilight would rather see these become real on her own terms, and see you girls achieve your dreams on your own.
What kind of friend would I be if I took her away from all this?
Fluttershy asked. Her voice soft and defeated.
Because it's everything I am to hurt her like this. But Flutter, doesn't she deserve this? Doesn't she deserve a place where she can forget everything for a while and have a world where she can be happy without having to be put under pressure after everything she's done for us? She doesn't deserve a beautiful reward for all of it?
Fluttershy gasped through tears, while Bird's green eyes glowed brightly. But, Lyra stirred, feeling her resolve fading as she looked at the little bird. Laying a long and sorrowful sigh, she felt her stomach defeat. You're right. Defeating chaos, becoming a princess, saving the world who knows how often, helping ponies out. Why shouldn't she be giving a paradise for herself and placed in it? She has everything she could want.
Are you serious? Don't you remember why you came here? Twilight is going to die!
Trixie yelled, walking in front of the two mares.
What is wrong with you?
You see, I set this up for Fluttershy because this is basically spitting in the face of kindness. To take a pony away from their ultimate goals, their dreams. This is essentially hurting them. This is essentially causing them severe damage. I mean, what if you were given a world where you could have everything you want? Would you be able to say no?
She won't die. She'll just be asleep,
Fluttershy replied calmly, a small chuckle coming to her.
That's a good thing, right? She'll be happy in a world where she has everything she wants in paradise. Trixie does not believe this. You can't abandon her to this. To leave her in this illusion. Think about why you're fighting. Think about why you came. Anything! Lyra, when Bonbon wants you to quit!
The blue unicorn argued. It isn't a death sentence, Trixie. It's a gift, Lyra said wistfully. But, Trixie said, feeling woozy. Quickly shaking her head, she looked straight at the two.
You won't be here.
Fluttershy began to look from the bird, blinking her eyes a few times.
You're right. We won't be. We'll never see her again. Never talk to her, and I can't let that happen to her.
Lyra looked up to Fluttershy as the Pegasus rose to her feet. Doesn't that sound selfish? Fluttershy closed her eyes and nodded solemnly.
Yes, it does. You're not wrong. I know it sounds selfish of me to try and take her away from all this. I feel horrible for doing it. But I know Twilight. She wouldn't want everything to be given to her, all of her dreams on a platter. She would want to work for it. She would want to sing for us. She would want us to have our dreams because we earned it.
But don't you remember the weather tower? Some of the stuff she dreams about are impossible to work. Lyra commented, looking up at Fluttershy.
But that's what dreams are for,
Fluttershy said with a heartfelt smile.
They need to show us that there are great and wonderful things out there for us to reach for. We need that so we can have something to reach.
With a soft sigh, the yellow Pegasus ran a hoof through her mane.
Sure, it may always be what we want, but it is something to work for. Gives us hope.
Lyra smiled as a memory came back to her.
Lyra, I have great news. Furthermore, is this were a paradise?
A smile came across Pegasus' face.
So you would want all of us to be there with her.
You're right. What's the point of having everything if you're all alone? Lyra said, shaking her head. Why were we giving up? Trixie looked up at the dissipating bird.
Mirage! She wanted to try and mess with your mind, but she didn't count on Fluttershy's kindness or your patience. Trixie has to admire that about you.
Patient? Me? Asked Lyra.
You waited for Fluttershy and talked to her until she got out of her funk, but you weren't infected at all.
Trixie smirked. Hey, that's all part of the myth of the game, the unicorn smiled. But now the big question is, how the fuck are we going to get Twilight out of this world? I mean, how can you pass up on perfection?
Perfect means we had to wait around with a chair with a... He's right!
Fluttershy exclaimed as she took off.
Come on, Lyra, I have an idea.
Twilight walked into the library with her daughter in tow. Today would be one of the many study days she had planned for her and would not pass up. However, as she began to walk through the corridors, she heard some guards with conversations. You know who I haven't seen around in a while? Rainbow Dash. Wasn't Applejack supposed to come last week? Where's Fluttershy?
That's odd,
Twilight said to herself as she walked into the library.
Didn't they come yesterday? No, that was some of the ambassadors. What about... No, wait, then there was... No, that wasn't them either. Mom, what's wrong?
The filly asked. Twilight stopped her walk and began to look back at her eyes, with wide eyes of fear.
But they were here a few days ago, and...
She looked at her daughter. I can't remember her birthday. Why do I know so little about her life? And my husband, what's his name? The young filly raised an eyebrow and walked closer.
Mom, what's going on? You're starting to scare me.
Only one conclusion. The purple mare started to shake at this, her mind trying to process the horrifying truth. No. Shaking with fear, she looked down at her young daughter, wrapped her forelegs around the orange filly.
Oh, Starburst, my little one. I can at least remember the day you were born. How I held you in my hooves. How tiny you were despite your big wings. Mommy?
The filly asked, tears coming to her eyes as her mother began to cry as well.
I know you're not real. All of this is a dream. But I promise to keep all memories of this world close to my heart. When I do have a child, I hope she or he is every bit as great as you are. And I promise you, I will do everything I can to be the best mother I can be when you are born.
Twilight says the world began to fade around her.
Twilight, I'm sorry.
Fluttershy was interrupted by a hug from Twilight. Twilight kept a tight hug on her dear friend.
Just need to make sure you're real.
Aren't you sad we took you from here? Lyra asked. Shaking her head, the purple alicorn responded,
A little.
But that world was always missing something. Felt like there was something important in my life missing in. Twilight looked to Fluttershy. I'm glad to be reminded of what it was. Besides, I'll make that world happen one day. Maybe not the same way, but I'll make it so. Now, who are you? Lyra Heartstrings. Me and Fluttershy are here to spring you out of Mirage's trap, Lyra said.
Mirage? That explains a lot.
Twilight said with a sigh. I can only imagine the other dreams. Okay, let's get out of here. And with that, Twilight became a small star shard and floated to the hooves of her friends.